Yes.
We are here to understand. We're not here just to talk. We are here to comprehend, understand, break down, and get it.
All right, cool.
And get it. And we gonna get it. All right.
Come on. Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex.
Hello and welcome. My name is Ashley Neal.
And I'm Trey Perillo. And welcome to The Birds and the Bees.
A sex talk show. It's okay. This is what editing is for.
We aren't just here to talk about sex.
We are here to understand sex.
How much do we actually know?
And how much about sex is there out there that we just never really talked about?
Exactly.
So let's get into the sex.
So, today, we're focusing on that age-old tale that every parent tells their kids. The one that everyone loves, or so we thought. The name of the show, The Birds and the Bees.
Or, more commonly known as The Talk.
Honestly, where does the talk even come from? The Birds and the Bees. What do they have to do with sex? I mean, the Birds and the Bees.
No, but I got you because I did a little research. Okay, now some of my research basically told me that there really was no correlation. That was some of my research. Then I got some other research, and it basically said, and I'm going to read it, and I'll read it right here, okay? So the Birds and the Bees is an English language phrase, an expression that we use to better understand sex in a younger age. So, like, this is the conversation that our parents would have with us, like, at 5 and 6. Oh no, yes, 5 and 6, like 5 and 6. Like, I know a lot of people whose parents had them down and was like, honey, you came from a stork. The stork dropped you down in front, so that's the bird. But no, this is what they say. They say that according to tradition, The Birds and the Bees is a metaphorical story sometimes told to children in an attempt to explain the mechanics and good consequences of sexual intercourse through reference to easily observed natural events. So, for instance, the bees carry and deposit pollen into the flower.
Semen.
A visible and easy to explain parallel to male fertilization. Exactly. So you would think of it as basically the male sperm. And then another example is birds lay eggs, which then coincides with women ovulating. I don't know what 5 or 6-year-old knows anything about cum or ovulation, but that's neither here nor there. But that's initially where the phrase comes from. So, I mean, I don't know. I never actually got that talk. My parents never actually sat down and talked to me about sex, ever.
They never.
No. And it's crazy because I always thought that, especially in the African-American community, like, well, no, I know in the African-American community, everything is hush-hush. So we don't talk about really anything at all. But I just thought, you know what? Teen pregnancies happen a lot in urban areas when you kind of just in your community. So I thought that it would have been something kind of really important. But I guess it wasn't, because I ain't never get to talk.
I don't think I did either, except for, I didn't get to talk from my parents. I used to live on the street with my best friend Peter, his sister Sade.
Uh-huh.
She didn't tell me to talk. She told me to go online and look up big boobs. Mind you, I'm gay now. Back then, I thought boobs were the hottest thing. Them bitties, they were bonkers.
There was a big.
They got some.
There's a big.
And it started from there, just simple pictures online. And I think I just researched on my own. I divulged into the online world of pornography.
And I think that's how most of us ended up learning about sex, kind of on our own. You know, I feel like because we didn't have a guide, we had to just interpret what sex was by ourselves.
And it leaves people so lost in today's society not knowing what sex is actually about.
Exactly. But we actually put a group of people together, our team, our birds and the bees team. We had our birds go out, we had our bees go out, and asked some students on campus about their talk stories. So let's take a look.
So when was the first time you ever got the talk?
Well,
If you ever got the talk.
my parents had my dad had first told me when I was younger that my mom got pregnant through like some pill that he gave her.
Uh-oh.
And I actually found out in school one day when she was like one of the bad kids. She was like, Liani, do you know what sex is? And I was like, yeah. And in my mind it was just like, oh, my mommy took a pill. And she was like, no, it's when a boy sticks his penis into a vagina.
Oh.
I was like, what? And then, so I was kind of just like shocked that day. I was like shook. And of course I didn't tell my parents that I actually found out what it was. And then came to the 5th grade where we're actually learning about it, and they like played cartoon videos and stuff, and they talked about the whole process and everything. And I went home that day and I told my parents, and they were like, we were actually thinking on giving you the talk soon. And then my dad was like, darn it, your school beat us to it. And I was like, yeah, I kind of knew before that though.
Did you ever have the talk with your parents?
Not really. My parents never really they were kind of thought the topic was really awkward, so they just kind of let my school do that for me. But when I was 13, they kind of sat me down and talked to me about it, and just told me what to, just to be safe always, and
Did it make you feel uncomfortable at all when you were young?
Yeah.
13.
Yeah. I was just oh, you don't have to worry about that. I was no, I'm too young, so I didn't kind of just let it go through one year. I was okay, but what we do when we don't want to have the conversation with our parents,
Right.
So when was the first time you learned about sex?
Sex, okay.
When was the first time you learned about what sex, the first time you learned about sex, the first time somebody sat you down and was like, Drea, this is sex?
Well, I just I don't remember how, I just always knew, at a very young age.
So when do you think you learned? What did you think sex was?
I thought it was an intimate thing between two people, or more than two people.
Okay.
I don't know if you like to get down like that.
Mm-hmm.
But,
No, so I know in the 5th grade they kind of gave us.
Yeah, everybody's just kind of talking about it, especially in school. You just had to know what it was.
Yeah. So
you couldn't fit in,
Did it make you uncomfortable?
No. I just figured of course I was young, I didn't get it, but you know what it is,
Yeah.
And as I got older, I understood okay, this is what it is.
Let me ask you guys this. When you were a kid, have you guys ever had the talk with your parents? Did they teach you about this when you were young?
See, what happened was, my parents didn't really have the talk. They didn't sit me down and go, Chris, okay, so this is what happened. It was more of, I kind of found out more in detail when I just entered high school, and I heard my friends talking about it, and I was like, is this something we can talk about? Oh my God! And they would go in really detail, and at the time I was super uncomfortable about it. And then one day, right after dinner, my mom just randomly went into explicit detail on how things happen. Yeah, I was trying to eat my chicken in peace, and instead she decided to be extra right after.
So did you end up eating the chicken?
I mean, she did it after I ate it, so I was happy.
No, when was the first time you learned about sex?
I don't remember exactly the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say probably around 4th grade.
4th grade.
Yeah.
So when did you have the official talk with one of your parents?
Probably 7th or 8th grade. My mom gave me the talk,
Mm-hmm.
and she always said the same thing. Her mantra was always no glove, no love. Which is, it's a good thing to live by.
Did you guys ever have the talk with your parents when you were younger?
Yeah, the first time I had the talk was I was 12 years old.
12 years old.
Yeah.
Who told you? Your mom or your dad?
Nah, my dad told me.
Dad? I feel like your dad always is the designator sex talk.
Yeah, that's fact.
What about you, Dad?
Yeah. When I was around 12, 11, we were watching a movie, and then I saw it, and then he just looked at me, and I looked at him, and I just sat there. I was like, yeah, and after that movie, we just had a whole talk about it.
Did it make you guys feel uncomfortable at the time?
Not really.
No?
No. nah.
You guys were cool with it?
Yeah, I think I was pretty cool with it. I was like, I wanted to do it. So I ain't had
facts.
no problem. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I had no problem with it. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean,
When was the first time you learned about sex?
Okay. Well, the first time I learned about sex was probably really young, because I have an older brother, and we would watch like a lot of music videos, you know, like back in the day, like ludicrous videos. It's all about like sex and booty and all that. So I probably picked it up from that. But yeah, that's probably the first time I learned about sex.
Did your parents ever sit down and have a talk with you?
My mom did have to talk with me. It was so awkward. I remember we went shopping, and then on the way back from shopping, she brought it up in the car, and I was like, oh no, like, what is going on? Like, she's like, wait until marriage, all that stuff. I'm like, oh no. I put a headphone in, I swear, I zoned out. I was like, and I was like, I thank God I had these headphones, because I could not. It was so awkward. I literally just could not listen.
I didn't have to talk either. I feel like as black people, it's just, you having sex?
Exactly.
And then you grow from there, but no one's gonna be like, yeah, I'm out here. I just said no.
Exactly. But then I feel like the thing is that we all know that sex education kind of comes along in the 4th and 5th grade. Like, that's when they first... You didn't get that?
No.
In the 5th grade?
No, I was talking about because you said comes, that's all.
Yeah, no.
I only joke.
They took us in, I think, my 10th grade year of high school, like, for 1 quarter, they took you away from, like, no one did gym, and they split up the boys. You're like,
Yeah. No, that's what I mean.
Oh, that was middle school, though. Yeah, I had that.
Yeah, like 5th and 6th grade, yeah.
No, I had 10th grade.
Oh, you're
that was
slow.
late.
Yeah, some kids already had kids.
Yeah. No. But the thing is that that's true, because I know a girl who's 12 years old and had a child. So right now that kid is 8. Yes. So it's like sex education is so important. But the thing is like when we're like in the 5th grade, they taught us about our periods, and they taught us about, you know, going through different hormones. Like, oh, you know,
that's not really sex education.
It's not.
That's like, this is going to happen to your body, so we want you to be
more aware of it.
Yeah.
This, opposed to like, they sat us down and they were like, this is chlamydia, this is herpes, and just had pictures.
No.
And I was like, yo,
but that was
I'm freaking out.
But that was 10th grade.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what we learned. She sat us down and just go get pictures, like pictures.
It sounds messed up. I didn't really find the people that I was learning from credible, because they were gym teachers. So I'm not listening to you, man.
I need a doctor.
Yeah, you just
I need a
gynecologist.
Yeah, bring in a doctor to come talk.
Please
to
bring my gynecologist in here to speak facts.
And then the weird thing is, they're still in sweatpants. It's all right, guys. We're gonna talk about sex. Yeah. So this is a penis.
Yeah.
And then you have and it's not really taken serious, because then, like, you know, as boys, everyone's like, I know what that's about. I've been
having sex since I was 5 years old.
Man, I really wish I could go back, because I think I'd have no friends. I start bursting bubbles. Like, man, we ain't banging nobody. No, I'm having a good time. All right, man, let me just talk to you. We're in school for 8 hours. You have 2 hours to just get home and come back. Your mom comes home at 5. You ain't banging.
You are not having sex unless you outside.
Yeah, and it's just like I'm not about to, man, we're not all doing what we say we're doing, unless you have a kid. Then it's just like, oh, you were
really doing it, and you have proof.
Yep.
You have
got living proof, right?
You got the receipt.
Yeah, it's like, oh, red receipt, boom, call. Yeah.
But then what I was about to say, but because then once we got to, I think, either the 7th or 8th grade, they brought in Mr. Woody. So it was a wooden penis.
You got that?
No, I don't have it.
No, man, you got shown that?
Yes.
Yeah, that seems equivalent to bring a dildo to school.
They pulled in a TV, just like that one right there. They pulled in a TV. They had Mr. Woody sat up beside it, and she taught us how to put a condom on.
I was never taught that.
They taught us how to put a condom on in the 8th grade.
You think it's more important that we should know that?
Yeah, because you know what? Because society dictates like a woman should do the whole. I've never had a woman put a condom on for me.
I never put a condom on a boy. So
I'm Rahil Ninche.
The interviews that we got back, they were very great. Some of them were hilarious. Like Leonie, her story was hilarious. So basically, you guys saw that she said that her father told her that her mother took a pill to get pregnant. And she had a rude awakening going into school that next day.
A special pill.
Like a special pill to get pregnant, right? She goes to school the next day.
She popped the sea monkey pill?
I don't know what kind of pill it was. Listen, the dad.
The 80s sound crazy.
The girl, she asked her father, where do babies come from? Like, how was I born? How was I born? And the dad said a special pill. She went into school the next day, and a girl was like, do you know where babies come from? And Leanna's like, yeah, I know, from a pill. No! A boy sticks his penis in a girl's vagina.
And he sneezes.
Here. Here. And what? I think she was like in the 6th or 7th grade. Like, that's some real hard, like.
That's some hard
facts. Ooh, that's hard facts. That's super hard facts. We're recording.
You meant he's new Rahil.
He's Rahil Ninche.
I'm Rahil Ninche.
Okay, where were we? We were talking about
the
girl. So yeah, like as a fifth grader who doesn't know about sex, and your father literally just sat you down and said to you like, okay, this is a pill that you take, for then somebody to tell you no, your pee part and a man's pee part go together, and that's how you make a child.
Like a key and a lock.
Like, could you imagine? Could you imagine being 10 years old and someone's like, oh yeah, you know where blood comes out of?
Nah, you don't really know that. Like, as a guy, yeah, you don't really find that out until like high school.
No, I mean like, you don't find out what a period is until high school?
No, I found out in 6th grade because in 5th grade, in 6th grade I learned the male video. In 7th grade,
you saw the girl
I saw the girl video.
Okay.
I saw the miracle of birth.
I never
that hairy vagina. That hairy vagina.
Y'all watched the video of birth?
Yes.
I didn't get the luxury of seeing that.
I think I saw one birth, and I was just like, oh, this is wild crazy. I'm good. I don't want to see this. I can go my whole life without seeing this. That's it. If I have a kid, you got it, honey. You got it. The camera's not even on me. Oh.
That's terrible.
Because I'm used to being up in there, and now
somebody's coming out.
Yeah. Hi, daddy. That don't mean nothing.
Whatever.
That's sentimental. It's gross looking. It's beautiful.
No,
it's also science.
It's a beautiful experience. No, it is though, bruh. The miracle of birth is amazing because everybody everybody cannot have a kid. Mm-hmm. You realize that? Like, everybody can't give birth.
Well, yeah, I know I can't.
She's out of that penis, but that doesn't mean me jerking off in a Denny's bathroom makes it important.
But jerking off is way different from pushing a whole life.
I'm pushing lives out here, girl.
Oh my gosh.
100 grand. This all just going.
Okay, then the difference is that's pleasure and that's pain.
No, but you get the pleasure of having a kid now.
You know how long? My mother was in labor for 48 hours.
Oh, you heard about that. That shit sounds crazy. And you
48 hours. That's 48 hours of pain.
But you get the love and embrace.
You nut in 5 seconds.
Whoa, who you messing with?
No. 10
seconds. I'm out here.
It takes you 10 seconds for all of your nut to come out of your penis?
If it's been a long week and if I gotta go to work, I gotta speed this up. I got stuff to do.
No, I don't mean like the actual action of you jerking off. No, I'm talking about the actual ejaculating.
Well, it depends.
Yeah, if you've been backed up for a week, you can have this.
This is not the talk.
But this is a talk. We can.
Go ahead. Say your line. Say your line.
We also got some very good responses from our followers on Instagram.
At the Birds and the Bees. I know y'all probably can't.
Birds and the Bees 1.
Birds and the Bees 1. I know you guys probably can't see that, but we're gonna read some of our responses we got. So the question that I asked, that I said was, send us the talk stories. When did you first learn about sex? One of our people said they stayed up too late at night watching HBO, and their mom had to explain a lot to them. So, if you stay up too late, you start watching little sexual shows. Like, I think
softcore porn, Taxi Cab Confessions, you got Cat House. Yeah, Cat House. I actually really like Cat House. The storyline was pretty good.
So then another one we got was in the 5th grade in lunch. This girl was like, "OMG, they showing us the nasty video." That's the video I was talking about.
What's that?
The video that I'm telling you about, where I don't know if that's the same video because I feel like the sex video, like the sex talk one, isn't until 8th grade. I feel like she's talking about maybe the period,
okay.
the period, and like the women's and the men's stuff too. This one says, first learned about sex from my childhood best friend when we were 9. Her parents, I'm gonna assume. What's that?
It's a French word.
What's that mean?
It's kind of like a caregiver. Like
Okay, her caregiver told her, thank you for knowing that.
Je suis parlé un petit peu français.
Vous parlez français?
Un petit peu.
Ah, d'accord, d'accord.
Oh my God, we got the language of love up in this piece. Okay, anyway, told her what was what. And then when she was 11, her mom sat her down and had the talk with like books. So like she had.
Oh, she was educational.
Yeah, no. She was like, okay, this is the sex Bible. So now we're gonna read it. You're gonna learn, and you're gonna know what to do.
Did she get the Kama Sutra? What's it called? Right?
Yeah, that's right. But
yeah, right.
Not a lot of stuff that you can do that you want to do. I'm personally not comfortable with having my in the air, like my in the air. It's like anything like that. It's too much breeze.
Okay.
You never heard about it?
No.
It has all the different positions and shit.
Oh no, not that. I hope not. I hope that's not the book she was showing her daughter. Okay, next.
So this is how you please a man.
Her mom gave her a sex book about female problems. I never knew of a book.
There's a book?
Whatever. I didn't know of a book. Let's see. Porn.
Yeah.
Porn.
Factual.
I mean, that's
factual.
I mean, you don't really learn about sex. I mean, you learn about what sex is.
If you're a visual learner.
Yeah, a visual learner, but like to know the ins and out of what, like they probably saw them having sex and coming and not knowing what cum was.
Yeah. First time I saw, like, I didn't really. So personally, I didn't know. Like when I was younger, I used to lotion my body, and like I would do this motion that would like give me an erection, but I didn't know where to go from there.
Exactly.
And then I watched the porn and I was like, oh, if you keep going.
Exactly.
Oh, this is a desired effect. And then I was like, oh.
Like, okay, so like when I was little, this is how little. Like when I was 8 or 9. Okay. I would, like whenever I would be cold, I would squeeze my legs together.
Oh.
Not realizing what it was doing to my clitoris down there. And I would have little orgasms at like a little tiny age. At 8. Anyway, back to what I was saying. My father explained to me about how some guys' mindsets work. And I thought that actually was a really good one.
Yeah. It keeps you prepared.
Exactly. Because if you think about it, like, well, I don't know what age her father was talking to her about this. But in the sense of men are dogs. And
exactly.
No. I mean, like, at a certain age, men can be dogs.
I can say I'm a fiend. I'm not a dog.
Yeah, I ain't no dog. Cause you just.
This is not applicable to you.
Exactly.
No, it's
we're just talking about in general. Because for a man, no, listen. For a man,
50% of this population.
For a man to sit down and talk to his daughter about how men's minds work when it comes to sex, I think is very important. Because the aspect that she's getting from her father is not going to be the same aspect she's getting from her mother as a woman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's pretty important to hear it from that point of view.
Yeah, because you meet dudes. Yeah, I do, yeah. Because it sounds
you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not the point of saying, no man ain't, and, oh, you can't trust none of them. Not that aspect. A guy will literally play with a female's feelings. I'm not saying that all men do this, because girls can do it too. But as a father talking to her daughter, he's explaining to her, as him being used to have been a high school man. Yeah, that's what I was reading.
Oh.
A high school young man, was that men will play with their mind to get what they want. Yeah. So just be aware and conscious of it.
Yeah.
That's all that that's what I'm taking of it. I'm not seeing it as, oh, men ain't and you gotta watch out for all of them. It's sort of the simple fact of be conscious of who you're talking to and make sure that they like you for you who you are and not just trying to get into your pants. I think that's pretty clear.
Or you want it to.
Or did you want it to what?
You want sex too. Because you can easily not like someone and then like I don't like this person and they don't like me. But when we get together, it's a party.
And
I think that like you don't have to like someone. I've had some good sex with people and felt disgusted with myself.
But it felt great.
It felt amazing, and I came back.
But understand that we are talking about a father talking to his daughter.
That's like
at what age? Because like
that's what I don't know.
17, 18. Like I think in high school I have a little bit more. If I was a father in high school, I'd be like, you got to be careful. 18, 19, if you like going off to college, okay, listen, I know.
Well, then I'm assuming, but I asked, when and how did you first learn about sex? So it's whenever.
Somebody gets middle school.
Yeah, middle school probably. Another one was, I never remember my parents actually sitting down and talking to me about sex. When movies would come on and the sex scenes would play, they would always tell me and my brother to close our eyes and to cover our face. And I used to just pop my eye right open. And I'd watch. But I never knew what it was. This is what she said.
That's like hiding from the real problem there.
I wonder how deep do you go in a conversation? Because like, do you, I think for sometimes they're just like, do you know where babies come from? And then they tell you that. But they don't even tell you like sex and then the psychological stuff. Because as a young person, you think you fall in love with someone. It's like this feeling is so good.
Yeah.
I equate this to love. So like I don't think no one dives into that conversation.
Yeah, but that's why.
Because that's a real sex talk. Because a sex talk can be like, okay, this is the reproductive thing, and if you don't wear a condom, she'll get pregnant, and then that's a sex talk. But then you have the sex talk of, oh, like this, like you will start to have messed up thoughts. You will get angry if she's not around. Like you'll yearn for it. You'll say whatever to get it.
Yeah. Somebody said, I never had a talk about sex, but my father said, when it's time, wear a raincoat.
Okay, I get that.
Yeah, that's a flood.
Because think about it. If the coochie is real moist, you don't want to get too wet. So you gotta put that jacket on. You feel me? You gotta put that jacket on.
For yourself, I'm trying to shower on.
Oh my God! That's safe sex.
Don't go in on a sunny day.
Drowning. Sushi game or
you
don't
get
bang.
burnt.
You're gonna get burnt if you go in on a sunny day.
It's too hot. You get burnt.
And if they've never been outside before.
Another one was my mom said during a movie, you know those scenes where they make out and rip each other's clothes off? That's sex. That is a terrible.
Not sex.
That is a terrible
Because
explanation.
it stops there. What happens
After they rip their clothes off? I'm so curious now. Like, did they rip their clothes off and then go get in the bath? That's sex? I'm confused.
Also, why in the talk? Why don't they ever tell you what to do after?
You rip their clothes like
no, but I mean like after the sex. They never teach you. That's why some people just walk out in the middle of the night.
Oh, I go home.
He's not. See,
yeah,
I get my go.
Like,
if you're not, I'll before breakfast.
You're a bunny. I'm cuddling.
If you're
what?
But that's also to have a boyfriend.
First of all, I'm sweaty all the time. I'm really sweaty. Then
so then the next thing you do after sex is hop in the shower.
Nah,
that's what the next thing you do is clean yourself before and after you have sex, ladies and gentlemen.
That's so much work.
No,
Listen,
it's not.
No, I just never understand this because like people be like taking a shower before.
For that too. You'd be like, hold on, before I dive into that, wash my hands.
Exactly. Like the best time is this when you
actually please do wash your hands.
First off, like you're gay. No, you don't know.
Nah, he do know.
He don't know.
Sex is sex.
Listen, let me explain this to you.
Are you saying that homosexual sex is different?
Listen.
You just said a girl. Listen, that's neither here nor there. That has nothing to do with anything. Because one, whoever is putting their hands anywhere near my genitals needs to be clean. Your nails need to be clipped. I will clean your nails.
These two are clipped.
You need to clip them.
Yeah.
I'm not putting, no. Do you know how sensitive, and this should be a part of the talk. And I understand that you're not going to talk to a 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old about this, but when your kids get to an age where you're like, okay, I might not have been having sex at this age, or, you know, I don't want my kid to be having sex at this age, but I think it's important for me to tell them this. Cleanliness is a part of godliness.
So do you think that the conversation comes better? Do you think the conversation comes better from a parent or from like an older brother, like a family member who's just a little?
I mean, I can't get.
Because I feel like you can get into a little bit more.
Okay, I don't think it's appropriate unless it's a parent.
No, like okay, like if you're like 9 and like you have an older brother who's like 16, 17. he can talk like, yo, let me talk to you real quick.
Okay, but then also remember the terminology your parents are going to use are not the terminology that a 16-year-old is going to use to talk to his 9-year-old brother or sister. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if my brother were to come to me and ask me about sex, my brother's 18 years old. Let's just bring it back to if I'm 18 and he's 16, right? If he asks me about sex, I'm not going to, why am I going to give him specific terminology? I'm going to tell him, wear a condom, be clean, get tested. I don't care if you are embarrassed to tell mom or dad. It's important. If you are courageous enough to put your then you should be courageous enough to tell our parents.
That should be a motto. I've never heard no shit. If you can tell your mom.
I mean, I can't really say that because my mom kind of found out on another note, and we didn't even have to talk after that.
I think moms know at a point.
No, they don't, and that's the thing. I lost my virginity at 14 years old.
Same. No, 13. Same.
My mom did not find out until I was 17, and that was only because she found an open condom. That's the only reason why she found out.
Slick. I'm not low.
I went 3 years without my mom finding out I was having sex.
But you got caught up on.
And I was 14.
Yeah.
I was 14. I can't really say this part, but let's get back to this. Somebody said I didn't have a talk. My mom sat me in a car and just lectured me about STDs and dirty girls until I was green. I don't know what dirty girls mean, but
dirty girls.
Prostitutes, hoes, and stuff like that.
Nah, just the girls who will.
You know dirty.
Yeah.
Then another one was I was 10 and I was watching Maury with my mom and she asked me if I knew about it. I think Maury's a terrible segue into.
You think parents are bad? You think parents are just waiting like I'm gonna cut this movie on and like moment 7:14 I'm just gonna pop it on. I'm like,
I mean, you could.
I really wouldn't want
it right
like if
there.
I'm watching a movie and I'm captivated.
You try and get through my computer.
You watch sex, mom. Whoa, they about to hit the good part of the movie. What do you? No, let's just talk about sex right now. No.
But yeah, no, those are really great stories. I think overall nobody really got to talk unless their parents literally had a book and was like, here.
Well, they didn't get to talk. They got a book.
True. So nobody really knew what sex was until we all had to experience it ourselves.
Yeah, way better.
I can attest to that.
Way better.
It's not way better though, because then you go into it with a certain expectation that you've created in your mind, and it's not that at all.
Oh, I had that and thought, wear a condom.
I feel like guys don't have bad sex.
Yeah. Whoa. Hey. What? You ever went down and slip inside with no water? It hurts.
Yeah. Okay, but wait. We're gonna close the show. We're gonna end it here because that's a heated conversation that we can talk about another day.
What was the conversation?
I'm talking about going down a water slide with no water.
Yeah. Hurts.
All right. Anyway.
Oh, the giant vagina.
Anyway.
It's your fault.
Follow us. Anyway.
Not wet yet.
Anyway, this is our lovely Rahil, co-host. Come on, Elijah, come on in.
Sweet.
Come on in, be careful. And this is Elijah, other co-host. This is Trey. This is me, Ashley. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at birdsandthebees1. Bees is just BS. You can take that to up with your own interpretation of what that means. And if you have any BS, if you have any sexual problems or questions,
you're not in frames.
Come pop your head in. Just say hello. Boom. Now get out. Goodbye. Your cameo was cute. If you have any sexual problems and questions,
any advice you'd like to know,
or just a sex story you'd like to share, write us on any of our social medias and
hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, whatever you like, and
we will share them on the show. Because sex is an important and complicated topic to understand. So let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Rahil, can you go?
See.
Hi. He's Rahil. He's been saying that this whole time.
Oh my God.
It's a sponsor.
So next week, we'll be talking about condoms.
Next week, yeah, go ahead.
See you next week, where we'll be talking about condoms.
Wish I had a couple. Just
just throw them.
Oh, God, no, Bye.
See you later.
Sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex.
Let's talk about sex for now. To the people at home or in the crowd.